According to the U.S. Department of Transportation, the fatality rate per 100 million vehicle miles traveled remained at a historic low of 1.7 between 1992 and 1997. The main causes are an increase in safety belt usage to 69% and a reduction in drunk driving fatalities to 38.6%. Lights are used to illuminate the roadway ahead, tell people you want to change direction, and warn others of your presence or the presence of a hazard. Your vehicle must be equipped with the following lights. First, let's talk about headlights. With the exception of motorcycles, all vehicles being driven during darkness must be equipped with at least 2 headlights, one on each side of the front of the vehicle. Next, let's talk about high beams. High beams are used to illuminate areas that are poorly lit, such as open countryside. Visibility requirements state that high beams should not be used when following within 300 feet of another vehicle or when an oncoming vehicle is within 500 feet. Drivers must switch from high beams to low beams in these situations. Otherwise, they can temporarily blind the drivers of those other vehicles. The distribution, power, and direction of high beams must be sufficient to illuminate individuals and vehicles 350 feet ahead. Let's talk about low beams. Low beams are best used in areas with heavy traffic, such as cities or freeways, where there is enough illumination from other vehicles and street lamps. They are also recommended for rain, fog, and heavy snow conditions, where high beams will generally reflect back into your eyes. Use them also on frosty mornings when the windows of other vehicles may be fogged or icy. The distribution, power, and direction of low beams must be sufficient to illuminate individuals and vehicles at least 100 feet ahead. Daytime multiple vehicle crashes account for half of all police-reported crashes in the United States. To reduce the number of these crashes, some vehicles come with daytime running lights. These lights make a vehicle visible a mile away during daylight hours, as opposed to the half-mile of visibility a vehicle typically has without its low-beam headlights on. They come on when a vehicle is started and are overridden when the headlights are illuminated. Up next, let's discuss taillights. Taillights are located at the rear of the vehicle. They alert drivers behind you so they can factor your presence into their driving responses. During darkness, any vehicle, or if towing another vehicle, the hindmost vehicle must have at least 2 red tail lights illuminated that are visible from 1,000 feet to the rear. Up next is brake lights. Brake lights are located at the rear of a vehicle. They simply warn drivers that the vehicle ahead of them is either slowing down or stopped. All vehicles, except motorcycles, registered before January 1st, 1958, must have 2 red or yellow brake lights that are visible from 300 feet to the rear at any time of day or night. And let's not forget backup lights. Backup lights are located at the rear of a vehicle. They alert drivers and pedestrians that the vehicle ahead of them is backing up. All vehicles except motorcycles manufactured after December 31st, 1968 must have 1 or more backup lights that throw a white light 75 feet to the rear of the vehicle. The 1922 Wills St. Clair was the first vehicle to include a backup light. Turn signals are located on each front and rear corner of a vehicle. They tell other drivers which way a vehicle will be turning before the vehicle actually turns. Always signal when changing lanes, pulling into or away from a curb, or making any directional change, even if no one else seems to be around. When signaling, check over your left or right shoulder to make sure that no one is in your blind spot.